So we all have these ideas about the way that things are, rules and so-called beliefs about what is and what isn't possible. A lot of times these limiting beliefs hold us back. They prevent us from continuing on our path of growth and emergence. Limiting beliefs are like roadblocks. We come up against them, and rather than seeing them for what they are, so old ideas about past experiences, we instead see a dead end. It's like running into a brick wall. But if we know that these limiting beliefs are just that, beliefs, then we know how to change them. We have the power to change them. We can just drop them like that, simply by not believing them anymore. I know I'm making this sound extremely simple, and well, that is because it is simple, but it's not always easy, and it's not always comfortable. We're doing something new, so it is uncomfortable. We have to expand and stretch to be able to allow for this new thing to happen. So let's try this out with a simple exercise that you can use at any time to help dissolve the beliefs that are holding you back. So you're going to need a piece of paper for this one. Preferably, if you can print out the Inspired Me Limiting Beliefs worksheet that we have available free in our resources section on the website. So that's at www.inspiredme.ca. That would be ideal. But if you can't do either of those, no problem. The idea is to be able to eventually do this in your head. So it's totally okay to try that out now. Personally, I like to write things down because I find it extremely valuable to look back on what I've been writing about, and then also to create links between the thoughts that I've been having and the concepts that have been popping up for me. Also, I just really love words and I really love language, so there's that as well. All right, so let's hop into this exercise. So I want you to start by thinking about a dream or an idea that you have that keeps popping up in your mind. Choose one that you have been dismissing as not possible. Maybe it's that dream job you've always wanted, or moving into an incredibly beautiful location. Or perhaps it's dropping the weight that you seem to have put on this last winter. Whatever it is, pick one that's been emotionally charged for you. And emotions are a really good sign that you have some stuff around it that could use a little bit of attention. So that's why we're going to start here. Start by visualizing this idea or this dream. See it as real. Picture yourself in the situation as having already succeeded or fully realized the vision. Feel yourself there. Keep picturing this until you hear a voice or feel a question arise about the likelihood of this actually happening. What did that voice say? Something like, but you haven't done this before, or I can't do this, I have kids, or maybe even, that's selfish. Why would you do that? You might have a ton of these limiting beliefs pop up, or maybe just a few. For now, let's just start with one. Write down or mentally repeat the limiting belief in your head. If you're having a hard time fully defining this belief, try completing this sentence. The reason that I can't fully realize my dream is because... So fill that out with whatever that limiting belief is that's preventing you from fully realizing your dream. Okay, so this is probably the time that you'll pause the audio. And then once you've done that, we're going to pop back in and do a bit of inquiry here. So ask yourself the following questions about this belief. Is it true for you? Meaning, is this what you actually believe? Or is this someone else's idea, or even just an old idea that you have been holding on to? Next question. What would your life look like if you simply didn't have this belief? Now, this is a tricky one. Imagine for a minute that this belief of yours simply didn't exist. How would you feel? Lighter? Free? Maybe powerful or secure? So really see how the belief is restricting you by the things that it is preventing you from feeling. Next question. This is the last question. Is the opposite of this belief also true? Take the belief that you've defined and turn it around. Just go with me for a second on this one. So for example, if your belief was, but you haven't done this before, turn it around to, but you have done this before. Ask yourself if this new version could be true. Have you done something like this before? Find a situation in your life that actually supports this opposite belief. Take your time. It's a little bit tricky, but you can always find support for this opposite belief if you take your time. If you're struggling with it, it is that much more valuable for you to find it. So now it's time to take a moment to let this settle. You've just uncovered the truth behind the limiting belief. It's not real. It's just past experience or someone else's ideas influencing the way that you think. Now that you've seen the truth and felt what it would be like to be free of this limiting belief, you're ready to release it. Okay, so take a deep breath in, gathering all of the energy that you've previously given to this limiting belief. Then slowly let the breath out, releasing with it the limitations attached to this belief. Watch the belief gently drift away, easily dissolving into nothingness. Now, let's return to your dream or vision. Do you feel that lightness? Bring that lightness into your visualization and see once again that fully realized vision. See the possibilities. Watch as new potential reveals itself as solutions to your previously limiting beliefs. Now, I use this a lot, so do repeat it as often as you need to. Some days it's almost continuously, or with some of my bigger dreams, I have a lot more to work through. I just haven't done it yet. So use the process either internally or by writing it down, answering those questions. Is it true for you? What would your life look like if you simply didn't have this belief? Is the opposite of this belief also true? And then release it by seeing that the belief is not true. The more that you do this, the quicker it becomes. So to start with, I wrote down almost all of my limiting beliefs. Now I tend to do it in my head in the moment that the limiting belief pops up. Other times when it's a bit heavier or difficult to stop and actually address the belief in that moment, I'll write it down on a note and then agree with myself that I'll address it later. And I always do. Though sometimes I've actually found that the belief just naturally leaves by the time that I'm ready to deal with it. Something about bringing awareness to the belief allows me to realize, almost subconsciously, the truth behind its false nature. All right, so that's it for this exercise. Thank you for spending this time with me and for taking the time to once more step into this living of an incredibly inspired life of vision and purpose. Remember that you can download the worksheet for free on the website in the resources section at www.inspiredme.ca. Until next time, have a beautiful day.